Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chase here at Rocky Mountain ATVMC. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we have the Alpinestars Tech Air Off-Road Airbag System. If you are shopping for the most upper body protection possible in the event that you have a crash, whether you're doing some enduro riding, you're going crazy like the rally guys, or even if you're just hitting the streets, this airbag system is going to be what you're looking for. I had a lengthy conversation with Brett from Alpinestars, which is their go-to guy for all things tech air information. He's the guru, and he answered a lot of the questions that I had about the system, a lot of the questions that I'm sure a lot of you watching will also have. So today I want to do my best to help answer your questions, explain what you are getting with this whole setup. It's an investment. It is not cheap. You're going to be about $1,000 for this, but once you see all the research and development and how much protection that you're getting with this, you'll understand the value that you're getting with this whole setup. Now, before we dive into the features and everything else about it, remember, fit is always important. We have our fit guarantee. Ty is wearing a size medium. He's 5'8", about 170, 175 pounds. I'm close to that. I'm 5'7", 180 pounds. I also would wear a size medium. If you need to go up or down one size after you try it on, you can send it back in brand new, unused condition. We'll give you free shipping both ways on your first exchange to make sure you get the size and the fit that is best for you. How does this work? Let's give you just a general overview here. First and foremost, even without the airbag system, the passive protection on this is already phenomenal. You've got a CE certified level 2 chest protector, your CE certified level 1 with the back. The shoulders, the elbows are also CE level 1. So even if this thing didn't have any airbag system, you're already going to have great impact protection. But underneath all this, and it's actually impressive how low profile they're still able to keep this whole system with the airbags in. But you got airbags in the shoulder, the upper arms area, all the way down to the elbow, the chest, and the back, that when this goes off, full inflation. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I've had this deployed while wearing it right here in the studio. Another coworker did the same thing. It's incredible how protected you feel when this thing goes off. In fact, one stat that Alpinestars told me that I thought was pretty incredible is that generally speaking, when this is inflated, it reduces up to 95% of the impact energy or force transferred through the rider's body. That is the equivalent of you wearing roughly 18 CE level 1 rated back protectors. I mean, don't do this, but you almost feel like you could just go throw yourself down a hill and you're gonna come out completely unscathed. It is phenomenal how much protection that you get, and that's why you're investing in this system. So how does this work? Well, in the back, so we have this back protector, and underneath this plate, which will show you, you have 2 of your gas canisters, and you also have the ECU inside here. And there are 6 different sensors. You have 3 accelerometers, and you have 3 gyroscopes. And just to give you an idea of how this thing is able to detect a crash before it happens, well, every millisecond, so 1,000 times a second, those sensors are recording data from your body motion and movement and sending that to the ECU. And Alpinestars has been doing this technology for a long time now. In fact, well over a decade. It started in the MotoGP side, and they've been working on this off-road setup now for many, many years. And they've had riders like Toby Price, Ricky Brabeck, Skylar House, and the rally side of things that have been testing this. And they've had tons of off-road riders. And they've just collected thousands and thousands of hours of rider data and analytics, and they've used that to build these crash algorithms. And so when these sensors are sending all that information to the ECU, it knows what's a normal versus abnormal movement in those scenarios, and when it detects that, the airbag system deploys. And how quickly does it deploy? It's pretty freaking quick. In fact, 40 to 60 milliseconds is how long it takes for those airbags to completely fill up, and that is much faster than blink of an eye. The average blink of an eye is about 100 to 140, 150 milliseconds. So before you could do a blink, this thing could inflate multiple times. That's how quickly it happens. Now here's what's also nice, is that here in the front, so with this off-road system, so this unit right here shows that it's on. You've got your battery indicator, and then you have street, enduro, and rally. So what they've done is they've taken all that data from all the different disciplines of riding, and they have used that to build different crash algorithms for the type of riding that you're going to be doing. And that is why it is very important that you use the best mode for the riding you're going to be doing. You do not want to have this in street mode and then go ride off-road, because crashes in street, crashes in off-road, they're different. And to make sure that this is going to deploy when you need it to, you want to make sure you have it in the best mode. Now, a common question that I've heard and that I even asked was, well, how would I know if I'm riding off-road? Do I want enduro or do I want rally? And kind of the answer that I was given is, well, one, use some common sense. If you're going to be doing riding where it's just high speed, wide open, like rally is, think of Dakar, then you want it in rally mode. But what they said is kind of the threshold is around like 30 miles per hour. If you're going to be going over 30 miles per hour pretty consistently, then put that sucker in rally mode. But for enduro riding, as many of you know, slower, more technical riding where tighter turns, you're not going at quite as high as speeds, things like that, you're going to want it in the enduro mode. Now, another question that I asked is, well, is it going to go off if I'm riding enduro, say me and Ty are out, and we're just doing some slower technical riding, and he goes to foot plant on something and just has kind of a slow tip over? Is it going to go off in that scenario? The answer is most likely not. That is what those crash algorithms are there for. It can detect a normal versus abnormal scenario like that. But here's what I say. Even if it does go off when I don't necessarily need it to me, I'm like, I'm okay with that. I'd rather have it go off when I do fall over and know that I'm gonna have the most protection, especially for like collarbones, kind of those more fragile areas that you can damage pretty easily just tipping over. And when you see this thing inflated, you see how much protection you get in the collarbones. I'd rather have it go off than have it not go off in a scenario where I might want it to do that. So what is nice though, is that in the back there are 2 canisters and each canister is 1 deployment. So if you are riding, if Ty goes out and he has a crash and the airbag system goes off and he's okay, but he wants to continue riding, well, he can just let the airbags deflate. I'll talk more about that here in just a moment. And once they do, you arm this system, he can continue his riding because he has another deployment with that second canister. Another great fact about this is you can swap out the canisters from home. You can buy extra canisters, and if you do need to replace them, it's very simple to do. There's one connector you disconnect, unthread the old canister, thread the new one back in, rearm it, you're ready to ride again. Now, how long does it take for this to deflate? Well, once it is inflated, it goes off, it will stay inflated for about 5 seconds. Might not sound like that long, but again, we're talking about all the crash data that they've collected. Your longest crashes are 3 to 4 seconds, and that's at high speeds. We're talking street crashes, everything where people are tumbling, rolling down the asphalt, that sort of thing. So 5 seconds is plenty long to where it's gonna stay inflated for the entire crash, especially at slower speeds like enduro, and it's gonna stay inflated for longer than you would actually be crashing. So you don't need to worry about that. How long does it take to deflate? Well, from the time it goes off, about 5 seconds in, you'll hear it actually start to let the air out. And it's about 10 minutes, they say, for it to completely deflate. But again, you don't have to wait all that time. You can reactivate it and continue on your ride. Now, how many deployments can you get before you need to have it sent in and refurbished? 4. You have 4 crashes, 4 deployments. That's when you'd want to take this off, send it to Alpinestars. Yes, they do charge you, but they will go through and inspect everything, make sure everything is still has its integrity, and they will repair anything that needs to be, and then they will send it back to you. You're ready to rock and roll all over again. How does it arm itself? When you put this on, so when Ty zipped it up, there's a zipper here down the left side. So as he puts it on, up here in the upper left chest, there's a magnet there. As soon as that magnet connects, the system will arm itself. Now, underneath that back plate, so where those canisters are, you can, if you want to, turn it off so that it won't arm itself when that magnet connects. Why would you want to do that? If you're going to be traveling and you're worried about it, maybe accidentally deploying, maybe you got the airline people just throwing your gear bag into the plane, something like that. If you're going to be storing it for a while, afraid if it were to fall off a shelf or something like that, it might deploy, you can disarm it. That way, you just want to make sure that you turn that back on when you do go to use it. And if you are traveling with this, just make sure you check it because you do have those canisters on the inside. They are not going to let you take this on a plane, so don't forget that. Battery life, it's very good. Full charge is 30 hours of ride time, 4 hours to fully charge this from completely dead. What is nice though too is that in just 1 hour of charging, you get 8 hours of ride time. I've never ridden my dirt bike 8 hours in a single day. Probably most of you haven't either. So in just 1 hour, you'll get enough time. But again, using that app that Alpinestars gives you, you can see your battery life. You can also use the app to go through the different ride modes as well. They make it very easy to do so. Okay, what else we need to cover here? We talked about being washable. So the shoulder armor and the elbow armor is removable. And then again, you can take the ECU out in the back. You can hand wash this thing, put it back in, you are good to go. So as far as the base mesh material, it's a really soft, moisture-wicking fabric. Ty is wearing a shirt underneath here, but again, lots of cutouts, full mesh. Look, it's a protective jacket. It's gonna be a little bit warm, but that's a trade-off when you look at how much protection you're gonna get with this thing. Ty, just quarter turn real quick, lift up the arm. Underneath the arm, you can see full cutout right here in the pit area just to help that thing breathe, and then face all the way to the back, Ty. So in the back, here is, again, that ECU. This is your back plate. Underneath here, you have those two canisters. They do have this pouch right here for a hydration bladder. So up to a 3-liter bladder will fit inside there. They've got this tab up here to hook onto that bladder to suspend it. And then you do have a loop on either shoulder to route your hydration sip tube. So again, just thinking about the off-road guys, a way to carry your water bladder there. All right, face back to the front. If I have missed anything, if you have any questions about this off-road Tech Air system, please do not hesitate to ask those questions. Please leave those down below, we'll help you out. To grab one of these, click on the link or head to RockyMountainATVMC.com. We ship for free over $75. If you want to stay up to date on awesome products like this, get subscribed to the Rocky Mountain YouTube channel. I'm Chase, and we'll see you on the trails.